Test 1 2 1 2 mic check. Testing 1 2 3. How are you doing today? If you're doing well, sharing your test stream to Twitch, kicking your YouTube. Just doing a couple checks, making sure we're all good. Okay, I think we're good. Hi Ron, how you're doing? I am back home in Auckland. Chilly, cold and wet Auckland. Following a good couple of weeks in Seoul, South Korea. I thought today do a chill stream where we could talk a little bit about the trip, my thoughts on it, what went right, what went wrong, what could have been better. Or if you have any questions about what I do as an IRL live streamer, what gear I use, then that's all good as well. So just ask away. I'll do my best to answer those for you. I got the e-scooter with me today, so I figured I could drive around, ride around on the e-scooter while I just sort of air out my thoughts. But yeah, it was a good couple of weeks. I think it was a total of about 20 something days. And I streamed most of it in Seoul. Yeah, it's quite a thing coming back home. I had a great time. Let's just say that. Seoul was a pretty cool place. Anyway. Cheers everyone. Got my coffee. Very important. So if you've got a beverage of choice, coffee, tea, water, energy drink, whatever, cheers to you. I'm just thinking. I remember the Starbucks being a lot better. I thought the coffee was stronger for some reason. Maybe they put an extra shot in or something. It's actually a pretty good one. Yeah, something I try and do when I'm away is to find a place that I go to, like a franchise, whatever, and see what the difference is between here and there. And one of my favorite coffee places is Starbucks, and they're everywhere, especially in South Korea. Millions of them. All the Starbucks over there, I tell you. Almost every other corner, that's what I felt like, it was a Starbucks. They had their own franchises. I did have to try those out. Compose was one. Do I miss Seoul? Do I miss Seoul? Some parts I do. I think I've travelled enough in that the feeling when I come back home isn't the same as the first time. So the first trip I did was to the US. That was a good few years ago. And I went to New York, I went to LA, Disneyland for the first time as an adult, and I was on such a high, the flight back was like crushing. I was like, oh my god, I don't want to go back. Oh, I was having so much fun. Wah, wah, wah. But every other trip since then, even back to the US, it's not the same. I've learned to appreciate home more, I think. So when I think about traveling, I think about coming back home, coming back to my bed, The food I'm familiar with, the weather that I like for the most part, things like that, you know. The thing I think I love the most, and I think I talked about it almost every day when I was in Seoul, was the food. Really, really love the food there. So that was probably number one favorite thing. After that, I would say the cultural experience, the temples, palaces, the history. So much history in Seoul, and boy, have they been through a lot over hundreds of years they've been around. You know, the artwork. Hmm. One thing, and one thing I don't miss is all the stairs. There are so many stairs. If you catch the subway, which we did, the subway was the best way for us to get around. But boy, there's just millions of stairs there. And our apartment was a little bit out of the way. So I think if we were to go back, I would love an apartment. It's like right on the subway, and where we don't have to tackle as many stairs and hills and things. So that's what we try to do normally. Stay somewhere nice, stay somewhere close to a 7-Eleven, dairy we call them. And so close to one of those, close to a lot of the amenities things to get supplies and stuff, and also public transport or transport of some kind. I think from this trip, it was a little bit out of the way. If we could have gotten closer, a little nicer apartment, then that would have been better. But the trick for us was the amount of time we were there. So, you know, a nice hotel or something like that wasn't really within our budget for the 20-something days we were there. So we did the Airbnb route. I think as an Airbnb, it was pretty good. Yeah, it served us well. Yeah, one of the concerns I'd heard about some of the places in Seoul is that their plumbing isn't so good in certain areas. So you might stay at an Airbnb and your toilet might block. I was like, what, really? I said, yeah, if you need to go to the bathroom, go to a public bathroom. But even some of them, they had warning signs. Please do not flush paper down the toilet, block easy, da da da. It's like, okay. But our one was good. It's not something that I have to think about here. Anyway, other adjustment was having to return your trays. So if you go to a food court, you order some food, they give you a little buzzer thing. It buzzes when your food is ready. You go up, grab your tray of food, sit down, eat. When you're finished, most places I've been to, you just leave your tray there, and then they have someone who collects all the trays for you. But in Seoul, you have to go back to where you ordered your food. They have like a return tray area. Now McDonald's, they have that, but they don't really enforce it. So yeah, it took a little getting used to, and in a way, I quite like it. Oh, Juna6, thank you for following. Welcome, welcome. Another thing for me was the weather. So the weather being, actually it was all over the place in the couple of weeks we were there. So when we first got there, the temperatures were really high, 32 for me, which is high. In Auckland where I live, it never gets to that warm. So our summer would probably be 26 degrees Celsius, 28 maybe, and very rarely get into the 30s. So for us to get there and for it to be 32 degrees straight away, oh boy, it took about adjustment. So it was that high for the first couple of days, and then it got down to 26, which is manageable for us, like our summer. It rained a couple of days, so we didn't do anything for one of them. We just stayed home. And then towards the end it was low 20s, which was right up our alley. It was perfect. But yeah, we had sun, rain, fog, sun, rain and fog in one day, all sorts. So I think it'll take a lot of getting used to. Also, like, I never wore this hoodie even though I took it with me. I had a couple of rain jackets, never wore them. It was just so warm. Should go for a little bit of a ride. Yeah, let's go for a bit of a ride. Let's see how our e-scooter gear holds up. So my favourite food thing that I got was it was a donut. I forget the name. I was like Chucky, Chucky. Sorry, I forgot. But basically, it was recommended by one of the BTS members. One of the reasons why we went to Seoul was for these guys who finished their military service, and he said that this place that we ended up going to had the best toki or donut in Seoul, so we had to go try it out. And they had I think 4 to 5 different types, the filling that you get inside of this donut. So they had a red bean, they had a meat filling, and then the one that I got was the honey filling, and that was just the best. That was probably my favorite food that I had over there. It was just so good. And they said, be careful, it's very hot. So when you bite into it, you have to use your teeth. Oh, well, manageable. If you just bite with your whole mouth, burn your tongue big time. And then the other favourite thing was a twisted donut, which we do have here. There are places that sell it, but yeah, there was something about that one. It was so good. I didn't eat it till later, much later, till we got home. So I can't imagine how good it would have been fresh. Yeah, but I bought a whole bunch of them. All the different types that they sold. A black bean donut thing, twisted donut, or 2 of those, a red bean, and one other one. Yeah, so the food in Seoul, fantastic. Oh, one thing that I was surprised, for at least where the places we went to, was the lack of meat on rice meals. It's very common here, and takeaway meals. So even we went to, look like it, you had to sit down and eat rather than be able to take away. Anyway, let's go for a ride. Whoops. Angle looks a bit low. Oh, that was a hard bump. And you guys look like you're looking at the sky now. Where are we now? So let's see, maybe gear. Since my channel is about IRL live streaming, gear, I'll talk a bit about that. So before I left, I had a couple of options available to me. So one of those is I could take the Belabox. I have an Orange Pi 5 Plus. I considered it seriously for a couple of weeks before the trip, but kind of last minute I decided to use my phone streaming with the Action 4. So one of the reasons for that was it just meant less gear, because yeah, so when you've got the Belabox, you've got the Orange Pi 5 Plus, then a modem. So let's say that would be my S23 Ultra, and then another modem, which I have the Nighthawk M2. So I considered using that combo. So I was just thinking and looking at all this gear and then said, this is just too much stuff. So all I really had at the time was this sling bag that I've got. Whereas, when I compared it with my phones, so let's say I had my Action 4, my iPhone, and my Samsung. 1, 2, 3. Versus Action 4, Orange Pi, iPhone, and S23 Ultra. And then with the what was that event that I went to before the trip? Oh, NZ Creator Con. I went to that and found that I was having a lot of issues with the Orange Pi. I think one of those was that my bag was too warm, so I needed a better bag, something more like an IRL backpack for the Orange Pi, and I didn't have the time to organise anything. Oh, very busy around here. Let's go to Pocket Park. And I'll extend you guys out a little further. How is that? You're looking a little too far this way, but it might actually be might actually work. Let's see. I think we're okay, we're okay. Okay, so when I was tossing up my options, I decided to go with the local sims. Thought that was the best thing to do for this trip. And that's all based on the previous trip I did, and that was to TwitchCon back in 2023. And so back then I did roaming, and just for that whole thing I was just getting smashed, my connection and everything, struggling hard. So I decided for this trip I wouldn't do roaming. Price wise it worked out a little bit cheaper as well. So for you to roam in data roam in Seoul, I think it was about $8 or $9 a day. And when I compared that to a local sim, 5G unlimited, which has priority when it comes to internet traffic and everything, then I think it was a little bit cheaper. Yeah, so I got the eSIM, and that was for the S23 Ultra, and I decided to, rather than get another eSIM, I went with a pocket Wi-Fi. And the reason for the pocket Wi-Fi was for my photography camera. So for me to take photos and for them to pop up on stream, my photography camera has to connect to an actual hotspot, not a phone hotspot. It just doesn't like them. Doesn't like those phone hotspots. Masingo, how's it going? How are you doing? Thank you, yeah. Home sweet home to chilly, wet Auckland. Nah, that's good. I like these cooler weathers that we have. Blade Cliff. I'm just going over my thoughts of the trip. Things that went right, things that went wrong, things that could have been better. I also did a comparison between, I looked at the bands that the M2 and M1 support. And South Korea has about 5 bands, but the M2 could only support about 3. So it didn't have all the support for all the bands. So I think connectivity wise, it wouldn't have been as good as the pocket Wi-Fi, because it's made for Korea. It would have all the bands and stuff, and I think it worked well. It worked well for that trip. Whereas I know the M2 has the bands for here and Australia. So where it has all the bands and things, then I'll use the M2. Oh, it's had less bands. Yeah. So, because I was thinking, oh yeah, sweet, I use the M2 because you can connect up to 30 devices to it, blah 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 blah. The pocket Wi-Fi is limited to 3, so you can only connect 3 things to it. I have new ones coming. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Mr. Modem. Got all the modems. Good on you, Masingo. I think you'll eventually find us something that'll work. A deal on an M7. Oh, really? Super deal. Good on you. Oh, congrats. think you were saying that the M7 can switch between 4G and 5G without a disruption in the connection. And that's probably what we've been encountering when we've been going through different areas. That will have internet will be fine, and then it'll do like, wow. Yeah, the Big Daddy and the Mummy Nighthawk. 250 AUD. That sounds really good. Ah. Because the top dog before that was the M6 Pro, right? So it had all the bands. You could use that everywhere. Although it didn't have that switching ability. Awesome. M125? M5? M6 Pro. Oh, you got the M6 Pro, right? And the M7. Do you really though? Do you really need M6? Oh, I know. You're like they're like Pokemon. Got to catch them all. Gotta catch them all the Nighthawks. Good one, good one. Not too long ago, pretty cheap. Sweet. Yeah, you guys are lucky. You get all of them. You get all the toys over there. We don't have Nighthawks. We just have the home router Nighthawks. They don't sell the mobile ones. Historian. I think it's because they did such a bad job with the NBN rollout that they needed, you know, you need all the kind of internets over there. So you've got the Skylink thing and the Starlink. So mobile broadband galore, all the modems, all the things. Just need time for them. Sweet. Alright, good on ya. In a previous life, I used to work for an Australian internet service provider. So people would call in and say, hey, I like the internet, please. So I would recommend internet plans and things. That was my my first and last call center job. I won't do one again. But yeah, I would look up the address and then I could tell you what you could get. I am sorry for me too, past me. But that was a while ago now, so it's alright. Those were the days. Oh, I was so sad. I was so sad when I would have someone who was on a pretty decent ADSL plan. They would upgrade to NBN and their speeds were slower. They were worse. And I was like, sorry. Can't do anything about it now. Once you've switched to NBN, you can't go back. It was IINet. IINet. They were good. They were a good company when I first joined. And then they got bought out by another company, TP something. And the culture difference was different from what I remembered of IINet. And I tried to stick around, but I ended up leaving. ADSL and cable running at mine. Oh wow. Download limits and speeds. TPG, that's it, yeah, TPG. So the top three back in the day, it was Telstra, Optus, and IINet. They were up in the top 5. And then TPG always provided like lower cost plans and things. So that was their sort of thing. But yeah, big culture difference when they bought them out. Whereas IINet had a really good reputation before then. And well, you know, things happen. Ooh, chilly. But let's see, when I was there, if you were with Vodafone, you could actually get, Vodafone in New Zealand, you could get discounted internet and stuff, but I wasn't with them then. Yeah, they had an agreement where IINet couldn't come into New Zealand. They did something. They sparked a deal with Vodafone. Probably a mistake, I reckon, for the temporary gain or whatever. Anyway, back to the trip talk. Let's see. So we were discussing modems and things. Yeah, I think the choice to go with the local SIMs, the local pocket Wi-Fi was a good one for South Korea. So if you're going to go there, I would recommend looking at the plans. Or actually, if you're going to travel anywhere, look at the plans, see if there's one that has 5G unlimited internet, eSIM, and that it has mobile hotspot enabled. Because when I was going through them, some of them would say that you had unlimited 4G internet, but then your speeds would be capped, they'd slow down if you used up too much internet. So you really need one, especially as a streamer, that doesn't throttle you. So that was the great thing about the 5G plan that we got. It was perfect for my S23 Ultra. So I had the eSIM in my Ultra, and the service that I used in order to get the eSIM was fantastic. Really straightforward. Gave you all the steps, what to do, what not to do and stuff, when to do it. And it worked really well. In fact, my eSIM was supposed to stop working on the last day, but it kept working. So, you know, sweet. Thank you. So, yep, really happy with that. And my travel colleagues, they had the 5G unlimited, same plan that I did, and no problems. You know, speeds were good, connectivity was good for them, what they were doing. For me, worked perfectly, because when I have the Action 4 going through the S23 Ultra, so you need that hotspot part for that. So that worked well. The iPhone, which didn't have a SIM in it, eSIM or anything, so it needed to go through the Ultra. So the Ultra and that eSIM were doing quite a lot of stuff. Yeah, so 5G unlimited, and it was unlimited as far as I could tell. There are a few times where the speeds sort of dropped to 250 kilobits. I don't know if what was causing that. But it did resume later on, and maybe there's just no internet where it was at that time. Yeah, so that was great. And then the pocket Wi-Fi, 4G unlimited, you can connect up to 3 devices to it. Oh, there was something that I noticed towards the end of the trip, and that's where it said something that the connection was blocked. And it was so weird. I had to forget it and then reconnect again, and then I was fine. So maybe that's what was happening with the speeds when they were suddenly dead. So I got that message inside of the, let's see, Android, settings, connections, Wi-Fi. So when you connect to a Wi-Fi thing, It tells you if you've got no internet, no connection, something like that. So that's where I had that message where it was blocked. So I just had to forget the network and then re-add it, and then I was fine again. So maybe I should have kept an eye on it a little. But yeah, pocket Wi-Fi, great. That worked well. So I then when I compare this trip versus the one in Las Vegas, so that was TwitchCon 2 years ago, I think connectivity overall was a lot better versus then. So I had a Belabox cloud, which allowed me to bond, Moblin. There's quite a bit of stuff. Hey Lucas, how's it going? Lucas the Lucas 97. Kind of photography, travel photography, if you include the photos I was taking in Seoul. So travel photography, but mostly street. That's where I'm vibing at the moment. Street photography. Always useful. I prefer a router to a SIP. Yeah. Oh, I needed that pocket Wi-Fi for my photography camera. So yeah, it won't connect to my phones. So if I turn the personal hotspot on either my iPhone or my S23 Ultra, I've gotten it to connect maybe once or twice, but for the most part, it just can't see them. It's like John Cena. And some more street lately too. Yeah. What I like about it is I can just go out and do it. Go out, do street photography, just find things that pique my interest. It's just easier and more chill. And in particular, I quite enjoy taking photos of street art. I found that quite fun as well, especially if there's some way of transforming the work. So I've mentioned this before, but there was one time when I was in Newmarket, found some street art there, and I couldn't get a good angle of this mural. So I had to go behind a van, but because of the angle and everything, it made it look like as if the mural itself was of a kid, and it looked like the kid was looking over a table or something. So I want to do more of that if I can. So transformative work of something that's already existing. But hard to explain or how to do that. Yeah, whereas like with flowers and stuff, you need a different kind of camera for that. You need a macro lens, flowers, bug photography. Whereas with the Fuji camera, it's made for street. Okay, right. What else? Yeah, so going back to the gear, so eSIM, I think that was a good choice. The pocket Wi-Fi, also a good choice for that trip. Hi, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're good. Let's see. Just going over my thoughts on the trip. Oh, gear. So gear, what I tend to favour was the Action 4. I was using that about 99% of the time. So I was either using the little mini tripod that I've got with the quick release, or I used the power grip. The mini tripod was just the easiest to take with me. So it just meant the action camera was ready to go. So I could just pull it out of my bag, power it up, and basically, start streaming. Whereas with the power grip, I have to take the action camera out, then the power grip, then the feet, and reassemble it, then power it up. But the bonus of that was just checking the power on all our things. Yeah, so our action for at the moment isn't hooked up to any power. So for me to charge it, I have to grab my cables out of my bag and stuff. Okay, just check that we are on. Yeah, we are charging. The Anchor battery bank, that came in clutch. Sounds so weird when I use new sayings. Came in clutch. Yeah, it was perfect. No problems at all. Only ever ran out of battery once. Otherwise, it kept everything charged. I definitely needed the Anchor 250 watt. No problems getting through customs and stuff. So if you're wanting something that'll give you lots of juice, keep all your devices charged, then that was probably one of the best buys. I didn't really have to think about it. Getting hit with the curves and their lingo, yeah. What is the older phrase? Came in clutch. It's perfect. It's awesome. It's pretty sweet. Actually, I don't know. You green 200 watt. Ah, sweet. I would have bought some, but we don't really have them. I was looking in my local, but they've sold out. We've got a company here called PB Tech, and yeah, I think, who was it? It was either our friend Mitzi or yeah, not on Amazon. Well, it was a time thing. Time crunch. I was running out of time. Amazon would have taken too long. Like, it's about 2 weeks, but when I was getting stuff, it was about that time frame. So I was like, oh no, not enough time now. So I ended up getting this one, but this one's been good. It's been solid. The size works for my bag, and for the trip, it came in clutch. So which device are you streaming on with today? So I am using one of the setups I used over there, and that is the Action 4. So that's our camera. Got the DJi mic mini for our audio. That's connected directly to the Action 4. We've got the iPhone. Let's grab our gear. Yeah. iPhone with Moblin. Videos going into here. Then over here, we've got S20 Ultra, which is our hotspot. Screen doesn't need to be on for that. So I've been using this Moblin to do a lot of stuff. So, to read chat, to control my stream. So I've got my little browser window with my Stream Deck thing on there, so I can stop the stream. And then I've re-added in my chat thing. Oh yeah, so one thing I noticed when I was over there is chat just wouldn't work, okay? So if I try to load up the Twitch app, the chat part of it was loading. That was like almost the whole entire trip. So the first part of the trip, I had the chat bit in Moblin. So if I needed to type a message, I'd use Moblin to chat. So I'll just do that now. Hold on, let's go on. Tap, tap. Uh-oh. Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how to share your phone screen using Streamlabs Mobile and IRL hosting. Hello? Hello? We're back. So that was one of the problems I discovered with the chat app. Yeah, breaking things. So it's great, but it does crash a Moblin. Al the Pal, hello, how's it going? How are you doing? And that's why I removed it. Now I thought the reason why I was crashing Moblin was because one of the things expired. So I logged out and then tried to log back in, but I couldn't because I was overseas. So I just removed it as a quick button inside of All Good Masingo. Escaping work. Nice, nice. Yeah, let's see if I can do a screen share. Okay, alright. So that is Moblin. That's what I'm looking at on my iPhone. Beautiful day. You should see this water. Try not to drop our camera into the water. You see that? Just those contrast of colours. Got like a greeny blue with that sort of peachy apricot colour. Lovely, lovely. Anyway, so down the bottom is my quick buttons. That's how I control my stream. There is a button there, right beside the froggy guy, and that is for the chat. Now, that's how I would type messages, but now I'm reluctant to press it. It's nice sunset, eh? Yeah, lovely. Cool weather. Yeah, real nice. We'll just go for a little ride around Pocket Park. Yeah, we'll test our stabilization while we've got some light. I know in super low light it falls apart because we've done a live stream on the e-scooter when it's properly dark. Don't look too good. Also, you know, you get to see a bit of Auckland Harbour here. Oh wow! Whoa, that looks so pretty. Look at that. How pretty that is. Hey, you are welcome. Using Moblin scene as well, sweet. Yeah, Moblin is so good. It's going to turn around, so this is my backdrop. I will probably be in shadow though. How does that look? Let's try our light, which I haven't used in a while. Oh, that's not a light, it's a battery. Ba, ba, ba. Okay, can you see me? Not really. I'll just turn that off. Okay. Thanks for sharing. Good shot. How do you like using the DJi Osmo camera? I like how much wider it is versus my selfie cameras on my phones. So that's one reason why I prefer it over them. Just pop this away. And in low light, I think it's comparable to the best camera on the back of my iPhone and the S23. I like how small it is. When I use a phone, let's grab the S23. Now if I hold this out in front of me, it's pretty clear what I'm doing. And it stands out quite a bit. Did I bring my little... Oh yeah, JJ02. Here we go. Yeah, so when I hold that out, look how much bigger this is. So it's quite big. Also, it's my phone. So if you're worried about, bad people, someone who might try and snatch your phone, which happens, then your phone is out here, and your phone could be quite a costly investment. Whereas with the setup I used over there, my phone was right here. It was on a lanyard, close to my body. So, someone has to get right up in your face to try and grab it. And it's also quite securely connected to me through the lanyard. And then it's just my little baby action camera out here. So I felt a lot better about my gear that way. And then my Ultra was in my pocket, and I have zip pockets. So that's one little suggestion I would recommend. Like all my pants have zips. Yeah, that's true. I like low profile. Yeah, it's small enough in that it looks a bit like a fan. So a lot of people hold these handheld fans in Seoul. So this is a very Seoul specific thing, where you've got this fan out in front of you to keep you cool. So people weren't really looking at my thing as much as other places, where they might go, what's that? What are you holding? Let's sit this way. Better light on me. Yeah, so it's just a lot more discreet, and so that's what I like to use. Discreet when I was using the Action 4, especially on the mini tripod. It's just so small and tiny. Action 4 on a little mini tripod, you know, versus a phone. But one of the things I really love about using a phone when I stream is that I can see the chat on my screen, and also my eye line is looking at the camera. So it's not something that I can really do when I'm using an Action camera. I can't see the chat. So I have to remind myself to look into the camera so it looks like I'm looking at you. Oh yeah, just checking the audio. So that's probably one of my favorite things. Yeah, I like about phone streaming. I think I only used the phone one time. And that was when I was at Bumpo Bridge. The connection there was bad. It was so bad. That bridge, I think they might have jammers or something there, because it kept dropping to 250 kilobits. It'd be fine, and it'd drop, and it'd be fine. And we had all the issues, you know, laggy audio, scratchy, or audio that's cutting in and out. That was pretty bad. But I noticed when I switched to a phone, it seemed a lot better. So maybe it interfered with the Action 4. Yeah, the Action 4 talking to the iPhone. I don't know. I think if you're having lots of connectivity issues with the Action 4, switch to a phone, and then it might be okay. And then if the phone audio and everything plays up, then it's probably just bad. Just don't even worry about it. Ooh, Sony FX3. I was connecting it to a Belabox device out in the Future World project. Okay. Yeah, if you got anything that outputs HDMI, it can go into a Bella. It's just the size of it, you know. I think a big camera, anything that's bigger than a phone or an Action 4, you really need stabilization. And like a full frame camera or anything that's bigger than let's say APS-C camera, I think you're better having someone who can hold that for you, like a cameraman. That's what what's his name, iShowSpeed does. He has a camera guy, and his footage looks nice, looks real good. But I've streamed with my full frame Sony A7 III, but it's just so big, you know, big, clunky. Yeah, so when I streamed with that, I had like a kind of gorilla pod type tripod thing. So I'd pick it up, there's no stabilization, looks shaky as, but the footage looked nice. So it's kind of the trade-off, you know. Do you want that real nice footage? I think it's best when it's just locked out. So you could be IRL, have nice background out in, you know, or if you've got a camera guy who can hold it for you. Manage your YouTube channel, so I was going to do some IRL stuff with a friend. Oh yeah. Well, basically just try it, give it a go, see what works. If you're solo and you have the camera on yourself, it's a lot trickier because you've got this big camera that you're trying to raise up and face you. Good workout, I suppose. But if you're the camera guy pointing it at someone else, you can hold it so comfortably. RS for the mini gimbal, yeah. But you know, those gimbals, they can weigh about, let's say, 500 grams, plus your camera, 500 grams, lens, depending which lens you have, it could be another 500. So it's going on 2 kgs of gear if you exclude a cage and stuff. What about audio? Are you going to use a wireless mic system? Power, so you've got the power part as well. But if you can make it all work and in a way that you can carry it around for a long time, then sweet. Oh, the Belabox, you got the Belabox as well. Just going to plug the iPhone in. People do it, you know, it's not impossible. So whereas iShowSpeed and his friend, they use a live view. Live view is solo, so that's some serious money. I think he has an FX 3 or 6, I forget. So he has an FX camera, 16 to 35mm lens, G Master of course, 24 to 50 G Master lens, wireless mic system. Oh yeah. Wider the better if you can. 24 is good. It's wider than what I've got, 35mm. G Master. What's your aperture? 2.8? Do they have one? Have 2.8? TVU. Where have I heard that before? That has come up a few times. Yeah, a few folks have mentioned some technologies before the trip, and I didn't have time to look into them back then, but I can now. I just have to try and recall what they were. Oh yeah, so more trip stuff. We mentioned eSIMs, we mentioned Pocket Wi-Fi, both good decisions for that trip. We mentioned the Action camera. What I used for that, so mini tripod and power grip. Audio, DJi mic mini, like what I'm using right now. That worked well. I think only 2 times it ran out of battery. $2.8. Ooh, geez, that must be expensive. Running out of light. So FX3 and a G Master 24 to 50mm. I think if you can one day look at getting a 16mm to 24. So you really need like nice wide look. Yeah. Yeah, I've got, mine's a 35mm f1.4. Although I think now I should have sold that and kept the 85. Multi-use projects for that camera. Oh, yes, sweet. Okay, well, good one. Yeah, use it for everything. Make use of it, eh? Some good kit. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So if you look at iShowSpeed and what they're using, he has that 16mm. We can zoom all the way out. It looks perfect for IRL. You know, nice wide look. But sometimes that 24 can be just a little too tight. 35 for sure. So when I've tried to record at home videos and stuff with my 35, it's just, yeah, it's too tight. I have to be quite far back. But 24 is good. Yeah, a few times I would have liked a nicer, wider lens for that trip. Okay, right, so back to gear. So power grip came in handy, just big and lots of setup to get it working. A little mini tripod, perfect, but then I had to be mindful of my battery in the Action 4 and I had to keep plugging in. Whereas with power grip, all day streaming, no problem. So my combo of the iPhone 11 and S23 Ultra has been great. It's like perfect, these two together, and especially S23 Ultra as my hotspot. Now when I try to use the Pocket Wi-Fi as my hotspot, it actually maxes out on what I can use as resolution from the Action 4 into the iPhone. So when I was in the apartment, I noticed that I could do 1080p 30 frames, 6,000 megabits per second. But when I was in IRL, I had to drop those numbers down to 720, 30, 1 megabit. So it was a good thing that I had the Ultra. Because the Ultra, I know I can do 1080, 30 with 6,000. From the Action 4 into Moblin, or the iPhone. It's a bit tight, but it works. Yeah, here's what you got. Yeah, it's good. You can start getting warpiness the wider you get as well. So 16 is kind of the limit. Now things start looking weird when you get too wide. Okay, so blah, 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 just going over more gear. So I got U-green cables to keep everything charged, so they've been great. 2 meters has been perfect length. That's what I'm using right now to keep the Action 4 charged. Eventually I'll upgrade my iPhone because the lightning cable is pretty annoying. Yeah, I would like to just have one cable, USB-C to charge everything, or two USB-Cs to keep everything charged. And having one cable that's just lightning is, yeah, just a bit annoying there. So one day upgrade. Audio we've discussed. Gear. I think I bought too much stuff with me as well. That's something where I go, yeah, I had way too much stuff that I took with me. So that gear that I did use, I told you about, power grip, mini tripod, Action 4, anchor battery bank, charging cables, iPhone, Samsung, mic mini. That's all I really needed. The phone cooler came in handy at first, so maybe it was when I was in the higher temperatures, above 30, I needed the phone cooler. but I found I didn't need it maybe a week into the trip. Well, I think that's where the temperatures were a lot cooler. Of the Android ecosystem because of compatibility. Yeah. So I'm on both systems, Android and iPhone. And what I've noticed is a lot more support for iPhone. Like the iPhone version of an app will always have more stuff in it versus Android. And it's kind of annoying. You'd think they could make them the same. Can be a pain. Oh wait, what do you mean? Can be a pain. Yeah, they've always had more restrictions on the ecosystem versus Android. And Android started to do the same thing. They're putting more things in place where I think you had too many naughty people take advantage of that. So they've had to put more restrictions into Android. But I like being on both because I can see what they're doing. And they're starting to look more and more alike, I think. Like the latest update for Samsung, One UI is starting to look more and more like an iPhone. Like, okay, I wish. Did I use? No, I decided not to take it with me. And it all came down to the event that I went to before the trip where I was having problems with the Belabox. I think it's still not ready, and it just meant more stuff that I had to carry with me. So basically, if I wanted everything to fit into this bag here, this is a 6-liter bag from Peak Design. So when I put the Belabox in there, which was getting quite warm at that event, with my 2 phones, with my things, then I decided this time no Bella, and yeah, I noticed it got quite warm as well at that event. So I need a proper bag, something where I can have ventilation and stuff for the Bella. This bag doesn't really breathe. Whereas when I just use my phones, so iPhone, Samsung, Action 4, that's all I need, That's all I need to do what I'm doing right now. Whereas with the Bella, I would need this same stuff, plus the Belabox, plus a separate battery to keep the Bella charged. So that's like 1, 2, cable for the Bella, 3, and then to try and fit that all in here, I decided, okay. Okay. So no Bella on that trip. But once I figured something out for a bag where I can put it in, then yeah, we'll be testing the Bella some more. I haven't given up on it. But yeah, I just like how small this setup is. So I could stream with just Action 4, iPhone, and S23. Just those 3 things. No power. My stream would only be about an hour and a half maybe. But I could stream with just that. on your current setup do you have? I'd like to check it out. No, really, because if I think about it, I've got about 3 or 4 options of gear that I can use. Now, when I'm playing a game like Pokemon Go, where I want to have the screen share and be able to read chat and everything, that's where I would use the setup that I've got in one of my videos. I think for that particular use, it's just so much better, I think. So I got a video on that one. This one here I don't. And I experiment to see which way forward is best. Both ways work. HS5 is a cool option. So I'm using that right now. I've alternated, like during that trip, I was on HS6 and 5. I started with 5. No, I started with 4. So the idea was for me to put less of a workload on the iPhone by using H.264, because H.265 requires more resources. So I started with H.264, but because I was having some connectivity issues, I switched to 5, and then I left it on 5. To reduce bandwidth use. Oh yeah. Cool. I also noticed that you get grey screen with H.265, but I don't remember seeing any grey screen on that trip. So, interesting. I watch all my live streams back, including those really long ones that were 7 hours. I put it at 1.75 times speed, and then I can catch most things. Yeah, I like to check to see how well the stream went. Were there any issues? The last day, man, it was playing up big time. I don't know why. It seems to be fine now. But my overlay down the bottom, it was relaying everything. Must have been just a one-off kind of thing. Whew. Okay, what else? Gear. I think I mentioned what I was using. What didn't work? Well, one thing is I didn't use my chest mount at all. And I think that's the most stable way of carrying the action camera around, the footage and everything. I think it looks best with the chest mount, but it was just too hot over there to wear one. I saw one poor guy wearing a chest mount. And I was going, oh man. I was thinking, good on you, bro, but nah, too restrictive and hot. And it's on the outside too. You can't cover it up like I normally do. I usually wear a hoodie or something over the chest mount, make it a little more discreet. So that was a bust. Does Moblin connect to OBS? It can. You need to set that up. Let me show you. So I've got a quick button, which on the bottom left, there's one that looks like a hard drive. Now you can set that up so that it connects to your OBS. So it's called OBS Remote Control. You can see my different scenes, so like a billion of them. You can start and stop streaming inside of OBS. You can see a preview, what it looks like on your computer. It's a snapshot, so it does pause. It's not smooth, but it just gives you an idea of what it looks like in OBS. So yeah, in here I can switch scenes, I can start and stop streaming or recording. Yes, it doesn't. Need a cloud-based server to send it over the net. Hold on. I'll just close this. Okay, alright. Does Moblin connect to OBS? Yes, it does with SRT. Yeah, so you can broadcast from Moblin to a computer with SRT, but also there's other types of protocols you can use. So SRT, SRTLA, RTMP, I think RIST is another one. So there's a few. It's all in the connection setting, in the settings. But for what we do, I recommend SRT, because with SRT you've got disconnect protection apps like Loop SRT, NoAlps that will check your SRT connection and then switch scenes in OBS for you. So that's all built in. Cloud-based server to send it over the net. Well, you can stream directly to your computer, but it depends if you've got port forwarding. You can also use a service like Belabox Cloud, others. So there's lots of different ways of being able to send your broadcast from Moblin to your home computer. Yeah. Does that sound fine? Hi, you are trying to get in on your shot. Haha. Yeah, the main character. The NPCs. That is correct. That's right. I am the main character of this story. NPCs, so yes. It happens. I'm fine with it. As long as they're not doing anything that's against TOS. I mean, with Moblin, it's a bit easier though. Yeah. Let's see. What else? Yeah. It's all good. Let's see. Gear, phones. So for me, my IRL Pro has been playing up for a while. I'm not able to stream directly from that anymore. Don't know why. Hopefully an update or someone will fix it. So I have to stream with the iPhone. Now I'm kind of forced to using it, and that's cool. I don't mind, because I quite like Moblin. So if I ever needed to stream with my phones, I'd need to use Moblin, front, back camera, or Action 4 through the Ultra. So yeah, for that trip, and even now, I need both phones to stream. Lamo. Oh yeah, and at the moment I'm on one SIM. Was when I flew over to Seoul, one of our stopovers was in Shanghai, and I pulled out the SIM card from one of my phones and dropped it. I have no idea where it went. It just disappeared. We were eating lunch, dinner at a burger place in Shanghai at the airport. So for now, I can only stream with one SIM until I can get a replacement for the other one. There's some research on data plans. They can get pricey. Oh yeah, price-wise for Seoul, let's see, the eSIM 5G unlimited with hotspot enabled, and 20 days for that trip, which covered basically when we got there and the day before we were to leave. 20 days? Does it feel longer? Yeah, 20 days. It was around 70 New Zealand dollars, 70 something. And then the pocket Wi-Fi, I think it was a little bit more, $75, $80, because there was a discount voucher that we could use on the 5G eSIM. So that's 70 something dollars plus $80 to have 2 connections while streaming over there. And you really need 2 connections. For the first day, I think I only had 1 connection. I couldn't get the bonding to work, and it was pretty bad. And there was a couple of days where bonding wouldn't work, and whenever I was on 1 connection, yeah, it was super glitchy. I did some research up, plans can get pricey, but they reasonable options. Yep. Especially after the rain we had. Yeah, I know, right? So it looks real nice. I'm glad it's been calm and pretty clear skies for today, because today is when I usually stream, Friday. So we're back to the Friday schedule, guys. Yeah, this whole week's been bad. Cold, wet. Yeah, it's been pretty bad. See, what else? After all that rain we had, I'll just move locations. Oh, actually, I turn this light off. You won't be able to see me. I just don't want to ram into one of these box things on the ground. Okay, how's that? One thing I wish this little light had was a color temperature. It's fixed to sunlight, but you know, I've got mixed lighting here, sunlight or daylight on this light, but then we've got warmer light up here that I don't really mix well. Yeah, I bought this light with me, didn't use it. It kind of draws too much attention to itself, I think. I don't mind here. Like I know Auckland, social norms and stuff. Over there, as you might have noticed, that I was a lot quieter on my streams over there compared to here. And a part of it was, you know, trying to be a little respectful of everyone else. When you're on the train, people don't really talk out. People do, so it does happen. Usually older folks. But generally, everyone's pretty quiet. So I was, you know, trying to be a little quiet on the trains when I'm walking around. Also, because I'm not familiar with the place. I don't know where I'm going. So I have to be a little more careful where I'm going, that kind of stuff. So that was a part of it as well. All the lights, yeah, pretty, eh? Auckland at night is such a pretty sight. Lights look great. Purple tower looks cool. That'd be Sky Tower, I think. Is it purple today? Oh yeah, Sky Tower. That changes colours. Some days it'll be purple. It could be for breast cancer awareness. So that's one time when it'll be like a purple pink colour. It's probably a story for the current colour. Oh yeah, I think in Seoul Tower was a highlight. That was pretty cool when we went there. I love towers. We had to check out the view, what the city looks like. We've been up Auckland Sky Tower. We've done a stream there. And I think I'll make it a regular thing whenever we travel. We'll go to a tower somewhere. There's always a tower. Anything else? Let's see. Battery life, we're pretty good. Power grip and a 250 watt. I think battery life would have probably been better with the Bella. So with the Bella, it can run, I think 7 hours was our test on a 10,000 mAh battery bank. So yeah, if we had a 10,000 and the power grip, that would be the Belabox and the action camera sorted. But I'd probably still need the anchor to charge everything else, like the iPhone and the Ultra. Rooftop views? They do, yeah. Lovely views. I stayed in a penthouse suite. It's not a very tall building. Before the current place. And the views from there are nice. Don't know why we didn't spend more time out there. Especially in summer. Could see the Harbour Bridge and Sky Tower. Hey Tony, how's it going? Sky Tower is likely pink tonight to show support for Pink Shirt Day. Oh, okay. Kindness and stands against bullying. There you go, guys. Pink Shirt Day. That's nice. Good cause, good cause. I do not have a pink shirt. I look pretty good in pink too. Purple, I look great in purple. Besides black, I think purple, actually black's not really colour, so purple would be my favourite colour. Remember a very, very long time ago, someone said, you should try this shirt on. I said, it's purple, I don't like purple. So you should just try it on anyway. I said, okay, sure, I'll try it on. Put it on, I say, damn, I look good. And then since then, purple's been my favourite colour. I have neighbours who are from South Korea, nice folks. Ah, yeah, I think the people there were pretty nice. I think so. It's interesting, our group, we all had different opinions. Like Lena would say, oh, you know, the customer service here isn't very friendly, they're not very nice. I was saying, I thought they were fine. Although one place, I noticed that this girl was very nonchalant about her job. I was saying, yeah, okay, this place, not so great, but, you know, no biggie. Love the culture. Yeah, I'm learning more and more about it. I was asking everyone, I was saying, so what do you reckon? Would you come back here? Because first time for me, first time for Al, and Lena had already loves the place, and it was her second time. So we're all pretty in agreement that yeah, we could come back shorter, not as long, so it could be like a week, 4 days to a week would be perfect. I really want to go to that theme park. What's it, Lotto World Adventure. I want to go there. I could spend like maybe 1 or 2 days at that theme park, because that ice rink looks so cool, and those Pokeball things from the ceiling, hanging from the ceiling, gondolas that you could ride in. I'd want to jump in there, take photos from that view, play Pokemon in the Pokeball gondola. I don't even know if they'll be there next time I go back. I might have changed themes or something by then. But yeah, palaces, the history. I think all of us really felt quite like a heaviness when we went to the war museum. Just reading about their history, all the things they've gone through with all their neighbouring countries, whether it be Japan or you know it, you name it. There's quite a bit of stuff that we did that I couldn't stream. So one of them was the Jin concert that we went to last day. That was so much fun. So Jin is one of the members of BTS. I am a Jin stan. And it was a weird experience. That's the best way I could describe it. In that we weren't at the actual concert. We were at a small stadium where they had a big screen, and they live streamed the event from the actual concert into this theatre, because they'd sold out. The main concert had sold out, so they'd booked a little mini stadium for everyone else. So those tickets were cheaper, but so you're there and you're experiencing it live, but not really. But what made it better than just like a normal theatre experience, because there are movies you can go to which are of concerts. So it was live, but also they had live pyrotechnics. So you're sitting in the stadium, big screen. They have a huge sign, and then when there's pyro going off at the actual concert, the pyro is also going off an hour. So not big pyro, but you know, like the flames. They had confetti, burster things. They had, I want to say fire sprinklers. I don't know what the name is for them, but where it goes shh, like a fire or sparkles bursting up into the air, where they rise up and down. So they had all that kind of stuff at this mini concert. So basically what would be a normal concert for some groups, they were doing in this stadium without the artist. So it was fun, but also kind of weird. There was benefits to that, in that we were inside, air-conditioned stadium, nice and cool, maybe a little too cold. So we're protected from the elements, from the heat, because it was 32 degrees. It was also really muggy as well. So we didn't have any of that the people at the actual concert had. So there was like a lot of pros, but also some cons to it. I don't know, but it was fun. That's the main thing. It was a lot of fun. Everyone was into it. Everyone was chanting like as if they were at the actual concert. So yeah. And I would do it again, I think. Seats were cheaper, and also you could pick seats together. Whereas if you went to the actual concert, you could only buy one seat for yourself. And you also got the giveaways and things as if you were at the actual concert. So they had a box of goodies. It was like a towel for your seat and a poncho. It was all like cards and things inside it. So we kept all that. Anyway, back to the IRL. So gear I've talked about. Data, power, camera, check our battery. Oh yeah, we're full. Full over here. How is our Ultra doing? 74%. Okay, so it is fine. 88% on the iPhone. So both of those are good. Pop this into the bag. Down here, 89% for the Anchor battery bank. Charging case. So this came in handy. This is for the mic mini. So if ever I needed to switch from the Action 4 to my phone, then I had the receiver and the other transmitter so that I could do that. And I recorded a couple of YouTube shorts when I was over there. That was my way of making content for those couple of weeks. So I could just use the same receiver, plug it into either the Ultra or the iPhone, record a short, answer some questions for you. I'll continue doing that. Because there's some questions that I get which are real short. It doesn't require a long video for it. So I can answer it in like 30 seconds rather than trying to draw it out over 8 minutes or whatever. Let's see. I'm just going to check. Oh yeah, while I was over there, I got to 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is amazing. So thank everyone who has subscribed to the YouTube. Appreciate you. Videos that come in, and particularly there's one question I got a lot while I was over there, and even now, and that's how do I go from IRL to desktop? I always thought that would be a pretty easy thing to do. So I never really considered that as a topic. But since I've gotten it a couple of times in a couple of weeks, I think that is probably one of the first videos I'll do. And I think it'd be pretty easy. I answered that one. Okay. Alright, cool. Alright, so back to trip stuff. Let's see. In terms of gear, I mentioned having pants as zip pockets. Now, one of them I really liked, and I wish I had bought more of that type of pant. Basically, the side pockets, they have zips on them. And then they also have other pockets with zips. So I had four pockets I can choose from to put stuff in. So one of them would be my wallet, which had my T-Money card, which you use for public transport, like the subway. So I had that in there. My Wise card, which was for spending. So the Wise card would go in my top left pocket, and my wallet would go in my bottom left pocket, both with zips. So if I needed to scan for the subway, then I could just grab the card out of my left pocket, scan real quickly, put it back in, zip up. And then on my right pocket, I had top right, I had my Ultra. And for that, I would grab the Ultra, turn on mobile hotspot, pop it back in my pocket, and then on my bottom right pocket, I would eventually put the pocket Wi-Fi. So these pants were quite light, and they kept everything cool. DJ Style, how's it going? How's the trip going? Well, I'm back home. Back home now, back in good old chilly, rainy Auckland. So the trip was great. Had a lot of fun. I got back earlier this week, and it took me a little while to get over the jet lag because I didn't sleep well on the plane coming back. So usually I get enough rest because I kind of say I need to go to sleep now, rest, play, and usually the lights brighten up so that you wake up with the lights. But for some reason I couldn't sleep on the plane back. It wasn't because I was full with emotions or whatever because of the trip. It wasn't anything like that. It was just, I don't know, just couldn't. Maybe I needed plugs for my ears. Not sure. Quite a few of them. Well, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that. Yeah, we did a lot. Did a lot on that trip. Someone asked me, they said they could show me around, but I've never really got around to that. I think it's good as well on your first time sort of discovering a place for yourself. And we ended up, I did a hop on, hop off bus tour where I got a pretty decent lay of the land. But even now, I still don't quite know where things are in relation to the others. Within the first week, I was getting the hang of the trains and which trains to catch. But boy, that place is it's a maze. There's just so much stuff there. And the trains, boy, there's like multiple lines that overlap each other. So you have to catch line 1 to line 7, get off line 7, transfer to line 9, and then do the reverse on the way back. And then sometimes, in order to get the closest stop to where we were staying, you need to catch line 4. I think of all the locations, I like Yongsan. I like that place. Don't know why. I like that the train station was also more, so you've got the mall right there. So all you have to do is just sort of go from the train station out a little bit, catch a lift up, and then you're in the food courts and everything. Yeah, so I liked it. Also Hype was there, a record label for BTS, other groups. So we could go check out Hype, see some of the nearby cafes. What else do we do in Yongsan? That was it, basically. I reckon if you were to go, stay somewhere nice, get the 5G unlimited eSIM plan for your phone, you'd be fine with just that. Stay somewhere close to public transport. You could cover quite a lot in about 4 days to 7. So from the things I visited, I really enjoyed the War Museum in Seoul Tower, the DMZ tour, 1, 2, 3. So that alone covers quite a bit. Latte World Adventure. If you like theme parks and stuff, you could do that as well. So you could do all that in about a week, I reckon. Oh yeah, and go visit the food places. Get a twisted donut. Get that other toki thing with honey in it. I have to try and find places that have them. Okay, Let's see, anything else? What could have been better? I think I've mentioned some of those. I think time of the year, if we'd gone in spring, I think spring is a lot cooler. And you'd also have the those flowers. It's a better season for the flowers. I forget the name of them. Whereas summer is just a bit much for us Kiwis. We like our cool weather. So that would have been better, shorter. I think we did everything we wanted to. When I checked the itinerary, all the main things we did. All that was left was just small things that we were okay missing out on, like a couple of galleries. I think there was a Marvel museum. It had a lot of figurines and things from Marvel, DC, etc. So that was there somewhere. Oh, it did okay. I mean, at first I needed the phone cooler, but then after about a week, I stopped using it. I found other ways to keep my gear cool. Yeah, so Action 4 did okay. These were fine. So I learned how to keep the gear cool. Like, one of them was keep the phone and the pocket Wi-Fi in my pockets, where they're thinner rather than my bag. So this bag here is just too warm. Especially when I pulled the pocket Wi-Fi out of this pocket, you could feel how much warmer it was. But when I had it in my side pocket, it was a lot cooler. But also, I had that phone cooler, especially around when the temperatures were up to 32 degrees. I had it for then. And yeah, just thinking back, after those first couple of days, it didn't really get that hot again. It was like 26. So I think when you're around 26 degrees, you're okay. You don't need a phone cooler, maybe. But one of the things I did was to just turn off the screen. So the screen is what can cause your phone to get quite hot. So if you turn off the screen for a little bit, so you can't see what's happening in chat, you're just listening. Or maybe if you're doing something where it's pretty chill and chat's quiet for a little bit, then you can turn off the screen. And that'll allow your phone to cool down a bit. The other thing as well is when you're charging can make your phone warm. So if you can, charge your phone where you've got aircon. So you're sitting down, cafe or something, aircon, pretty cool. Charge your phone then, if possible. But keeping a nice cool, yeah. So I had to work with what I had, basically. And those are a couple of things that seem to do the trick for me. Yeah, but I noticed if you just turn off your phone screen, that can go a long way. But you can only do that with Moblin if you're using an external camera like the Action 4. Whereas if you're using the internal cameras, then you can't. Definitely warms up your phone. Yeah. So with my iPhone, when I need to charge it, and its battery is pretty old, so I'd need to plug this in the most. Let's see, it can do up to 18 watts fast charging. So the cable I have is plugged into the 18 watt charging port of my Anchor battery. So I know it's going to supply the right amount of fast charging for my iPhone. Yeah, whereas the Ultra, it can do 45 watt charging. So it has 3 levels of fast charging. It's got, well, it's got normal charge, it's got fast charging, and then it's got super fast charging. So if I don't want it to overheat, then I have to use a slower mode, maybe USB-A charging for the Ultra. 2 phones for chat, so I swap them out when I need to charge one up. Oh, that's good, yeah. So that they can help a lot. Yeah, I've got phones that can switch. Yeah, whereas using the setup that I have been, my Moblin phone is doing a lot of the work. So that's my chat phone, and it's also my streaming phone. So all my other phone is doing is providing a hotspot, which is already quite a lot. It's doing a lot of stuff. I have 3 charge modes, or yeah. So it depends how new your Samsung is. I think some of the latest phones may not be Samsung, but they can do 100-watt fast charging, which is crazy. So I know some which do 45 like mine, and I think the newer Ultra's 60-watt. Yeah, whereas I think iPhone maxes out around 25 watts, I think. When possible, I use normal charging overnight. It's just easier on your battery. Okay. Now, anything else? Anything else? Gear, Sims, so video, action for audio, mic mini. Streaming at Moblin. Hotspot was the S23 Ultra. Hotspot to the Action 4 and also for the iPhone. And then the Pocket Wi-Fi primarily for the photos. But I eventually figured out how to bond with that Pocket Wi-Fi. So basically I would connect the S23 to the Wi-Fi of the Pocket Wi-Fi, and then Moblin on S23 I would just connect to the iPhone URL. So it took a little while to suss that out. So first day I didn't have the bonding. Second day got that to work, and then the connection was much better. Mr. Egg, hello, how's it going? Just joined. Yeah, it was nice. It was a real good trip. Enjoyed it. Learned a lot from my IRL experiments before and then during that trip. The #AQ, hello. Have been great help for your IRL streams, really? Fantastic, glad to hear that. Yeah, welcome to the chat. But recently, Moblin stopped working properly for you? Where? Why? Why is that? I'm using it right now, so I'd have the latest version of Moblin. Don't know. In what way has it stopped working? What if it's similar to my IRL Pro on my Ultra? So that stopped working. I think it has more, yeah, it's something to do with a VPN or internet. So when I try to stream with my Ultra or IRL Pro, it says I've got a VPN and it can't bond when I didn't. Also, stream is cutting out, freezing a lot. Not sure what you're saying. My stream? I'm listening to it and it sounds okay to me. I got a preview of it open. So I don't know if that could be on your end. Yeah, so do you see this? This is the Kick app. I've got it open and I'm listening to it to see if my audio is okay and my video is okay. So yeah, I think it might be something on your end, the hash. Or is that no, the hash, I'll go with that. Back, probably, maybe, yeah, I don't know. So when it starts playing up for me, like this little window, then I know there's a problem. Or if I start getting messages like low bitrate and stuff in the chat from my bot, then I know there's a problem. Also, if you see these numbers in the top right hand corner, I've got one which is 7.476 megabits per second. So that is my connection from my Action 4 into my iPhone. So I put it or set it to 6 megabits per second. So as long as it's around 6, 7, then I know that that part of the setup is working. And then below that, I've got the stream from Moblin, which is 5 megabits per second. So as long as that's around 5, which it is showing for me now, then I know the stream from Moblin to Belabox cloud is okay. So on two fronts, RTMP and the SRT connections are doing okay. Whereas when I was in Seoul and I was having connectivity issues, usually it would be that lower value, which says 5 megabits per second. It would drop to 250 kilobits at times. So where that was bad, I knew my stream was playing up. And usually this little preview would stop working and crash. Used to connect seamlessly, but I got a new computer, redid the setup, using the steps, keep getting FFF when trying to connect through remote. Yeah, so it's failed. Connection has failed somehow. It depends how you've set up your Moblin and how it's communicating. New computer. Are you using a relay, or are you doing port forwarding? Because it's possible with a new computer you might have new ports and stuff. Yeah, you might have a new URL and port. If you're using a service like Belabox Cloud, then it could be something else. After 10 to 30 attempts of Will Connect, used to connect seamlessly before. I don't know. Not sure. So if I'll eventually connect, yeah, don't know. You'll have to go through, do some troubleshooting. There's a reason why something has changed from what you had before to now, and it has something to do with the new computer. Port forwarding, okay. Set up a port exactly how you did last time, new IP and port. Okay, so new port and new IP and port. Yeah? $130, what's that for? Might have to start over with your setup. Yeah, go over everything from the beginning. But let's see, port numbers, it could be firewall, it could be a VPN, something like that. It's preventing your Moblin broadcast from reaching your new computer. I have troubleshooting sections for the port forwarding video, so have a look at that. IRL toolkit. Wow, if you were to go the Belabox cloud route, it's only $10 US a month. But if it worked before and your home setup hasn't changed, then your new one should work. Could be your router, maybe it's not forwarding to the correct place. So yeah, I'd look at that. Your forwarding in your router, make sure it's going to the correct computer, because it won't work with the old one. Yeah, well, it's set up for the old one, so you're going to have to check the forwarding on your router. Then it could be your firewall. Maybe your router has a firewall, new computer has a firewall. Yeah, so there's some reason why the signal isn't going from your phone into OBS, so that it's not being forwarded properly. So I'll just go through the troubleshooting to see which one of the things it is. Yeah, it's almost like starting over, you know. Yeah, it would be one of those. Just gotta think of it methodically. Okay, so what could it be? Go through the troubleshooting steps, check them off. Is it the web socket? Is it enabled? There's so many times where that one little thing prevented me from being able to broadcast. Just a web socket wasn't enabled. Here's my light. It can't be firewall switch, because eventually it does connect if I keep waiting. Well, you've got to rule it out though. I know, yeah. I mean, logically it can't be that, but you've got to go through all those steps anyway, just to make sure. It's like when you call up help desks and they say, have you restarted your computer? Go, no, but I shouldn't need to. Have you? Can you try restarting your computer? Yeah, okay. Then you restart your computer and it works. So you got to do all those basic things, super basic stuff, and then maybe one of them. Computers are weird. Computers, internet, code. It'll just start working for the weirdest of reasons and you won't even know why. So if you just go through all those steps, the troubleshooting sections, it could be one or combination of those things that fixes it. To 30 times, I don't know, that's such a weird thing. 10 to 30 times won't work, but then will work eventually. Let's see, the URLs, OBS URL, the URL inside of Moblin, your router, is it forwarding properly? Does your router have a firewall? Yeah. Is there a VPN on your router or your home computer? Is the Windows firewall, whatever firewall you've got on your computer, is that allowing the traffic? WebSockets enabled. That's an annoying one. Maybe it could just be your internet. Maybe the internet's real bad. is the media source on? Yeah, if the media source isn't on, then it might not work. I don't know. I have seen that before. So what usually fixes it? Maybe it's maybe it's the internet where you are in that moment. Maybe there's a issue. You should like just double check your speeds. It's a good thing about Moblin is it tells you what your speeds are in that lower number, or at least lower number for me. Took a while to connect. Check the media source settings. I have that in my video. When she does connect, just have to wait a little longer than usual. Yeah, something's changed. It's just a matter of going through the steps of trying to figure out what is different. You know, so there's something about your new computer that's different from the old one. Yeah, it sounds very specific to your setup. Oy. Well, hopefully you find a fix. Well, you could try it for a month. But it's what, $10 a month. You could try it out, see if majorly just works great. If you're having the same issues, then at least you could rule out a couple of things. So what the difference of Belabox Cloud, the service, is you have a URL that you put inside of Moblin and a URL that you put inside of your OBS media source. And you don't have to worry about ports, firewall, VPN, or any of that other stuff. So if that works, you might have part of an answer there, that there was something wrong with your setup. Maybe the new computer has got something in there that could be initially blocking it. But that's the great thing about that Belabox Cloud is it's just so much simpler, easier to set up. It's just that recurring cost, that's all. But it's not like super expensive. It's basically 2 coffees, 1 or 2 coffees a month. Okay. Yeah, maybe. There's yeah, and so unusual that it wouldn't. Like if it didn't connect at all, then that would make it a lot easier to find out what it is. Yeah, it probably would be the port forwarding, or would be a firewall, VPN, or something. Well, there's benefits to it, but it's a cost thing. If you can afford it, then yeah. I mean, it's just nice to have everything in the cloud. Like, it would have been handy for my trip. I wouldn't have needed to have my computer on for the whole time. So my trip was, what, 3 weeks? And my computer had to be on for that entire time for me to be able to stream. Whereas when you use a service like IRL Toolkit, or I think IRL Hosting, they have something like that, then everything's in the cloud. They can even set up things like StreamerBot and stuff for you. And they make it pretty easy for you to be able to start and stop that service. And they have redundancies and things so that, you know, if it goes down, then you can resume it, things like that. Whereas when you're using a computer like what I recommend, now if your computer restarts or turns off, you're kind of stuck. Can't do anything about it unless you got a friend, someone at home, they can turn it on for you. Belabox video, where, yeah, have a look at that. With Belabox, you also have bonding included. It's just part of that service. So you could, with Moblin, bond. You have your, let's say your iPhone has a SIM card in it, and then you got another phone with a SIM card in it. Then you can connect to the Wi-Fi of that other phone, and then you've got 2 connections. And it's just a part of Moblin and SRTLA, Belabox Cloud. So that's a nice little thing. Hey, you are welcome. No worries. Okay, I think I've talked everything I can think about at the moment about this trip to Seoul. And I just wanted to focus on the main things like the connectivity, streaming side of the experience. You know, what gear I used, what gear I didn't, mainly the chest mount. And that overall, I think it was a good one. It worked well. The eSIMs and the pocket Wi-Fi especially, you know. Once Sharp OBS crashed. I had to ask her dad to restart OBS. Yeah. So basically, I was kind of in the same boat. I had to stop my computer from restarting because I didn't want it to while I was away, because that very thing happened when I was streaming before the trip. My computer, well, my stream died, and it's because there was a Windows update. And I restarted my computer, but fortunately, once the update had completed, I could stream again. How many connections can Moblin support? Well, basically unlimited. So firstly, you need an iPhone as your main streaming phone and Moblin on it. And then if you've got other iPhones with their own SIM cards, all you need to do is install Moblin on them and set them up as a relay so that they will share their internet with your main streaming phone. Or if your other phones are Android, you can download Moblin, which will do the same thing. So I have been able to bond 3. So my primary SIM, other SIM, and one of my traveling friends, I was able to bond the 3. But it just depends how many other connections you've got. They have to be phones though. You think, hey, crap cow, how's it going? Is it a maximum of 16? Wow, that's a lot of SIMs. Yeah, so I only have access to two that are mine. I could ask one of my flatmates. Yeah, so I don't have 16. But I've combined 3. A lot. Ah, okay. That's where it becomes unstable. Have you been able to test it? Someone has. It was probably the team at Moblin. Unstable. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so on that trip to Seoul, I had eSIM and my S23 Ultra. My Ultra was connected to the Wi-Fi of the pocket Wi-Fi. So that's one mobile eSIM and a pocket Wi-Fi router thing. 2 connections. And for Seoul, I needed 2. And then I tried to connect up one of my traveling companions as a third. And the way we were going to do it was to connect their phone. They had the 5G unlimited plan. Connect their phone to the hotspot that I had. Or to the Ultra? Yeah, to the Ultra. And then... I don't think I did. Maybe that's why it didn't work. So I think I was trying to connect their phone to the pocket Wi-Fi. Instead, it should have been connected to the Ultra. So I just tried really briefly to get 3 connections going. And I think that's why. So it's unstable. I just remember someone mentioning it. Oh, okay, got it. Thank you. How much data you push through here? Is that a question? Yeah, at the moment I am using 1 connection, which is my Ultra. I need to get a new SIM card for the M2 because I dropped it. I dropped and lost my other my other SIM card in Shanghai. It's there somewhere. How much gigabytes are they? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if I've got a record of that. I think a lot. Let's see if I've got data records for my mobile networks data usage. Mobile data usage. So 1st of June to the 1st of July. Is that all? Which SIM is this using? Okay, from what I can tell, the Ultra used 41 gigs between the 1st of June and the 1st of July. It's just the Ultra. The Pocket Wi-Fi, I don't know. I don't have that info. Unlimited SIM, or like they were. Okay, so I had a 5G unlimited eSIM for the Ultra, which you activate once you get to your destination, and it had hotspot mode enabled. Some of them will have like they'll throttle your speeds, they'll have a limit, that kind of thing. All I had to go by was the info that the app provided. But from what I can tell, it was truly unlimited 5G, and there was no throttling. And hotspot worked. There were a couple of plans. There were like 4G unlimited, was there another 5G plan? I think so. But when you look through the details, they would say that once you exceed a certain amount of data for a day, then your speeds would slow down. Some of them were down to 128 kilobits. I think one was 250. But from what I can tell, there was no throttling on my plan. So there were times when the speeds would be super slow, but then they'd go back to normal again. So from what I can tell, the plan that I had, there was no throttling. Yeah, so it's good. And then the Pocket Wi-Fi, there was 4G unlimited. But they were cheap for the amount of time we were there. So 20 days and 21 days, it was about 180 New Zealand dollars for the two. I had some people say, oh, you should get a third SIM. Nope. No way. Nah, no thank you. I reckon with 3 connection it would have been even better. Yeah, so unlimited for both 4G and 5G, and the two connections was good. They need a light around here. There's a ramp which you could miss. And ram into. That would not be fun. Okay, alright. Just looking for the chat there. I think we're good. It's been a good welcome home stream. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in, for saying hello, and I had a couple of questions. Always glad to have helped. My next stream will be next. Oh, actually, I'm thinking of streaming tomorrow because it's a community day for Pokemon Go. And I want to finish that challenge to catch 200 Pokemons in one day. Community day means there'll be extra Pokemons. So we'll see. That is a maybe. Okay, it's a maybe that I might stream tomorrow. No guarantees. We'll just see. Maybe the weather will be trash. Super rainy and everything. Otherwise, I'll see you next Friday. So no more daily streams, weekly streams. I need to work on some videos. I want to do that one where I cover how to switch between IRL and desktop. Just was how many questions I got on that. Seemed like quite a lot over the last couple of weeks. I see every other day, hey, how do you switch from IRL to desktop? So I figure that could be the next video. And then there are quite a few questions asked while I was away that I want to cover. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to tap the button. We'll wrap things up there. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. It's a very purple boat. There's a boat down here. Very purple. I love it. Okay, well, let's just do a couple of loops around the pocket park. See how the stabilization does. Probably not great. That's why I think the Pocket 3 is much better for this kind of thing, you know. If you have any questions about what I do as a live streamer, IRL in particular, please pop those into my YouTube comments on a video. Go check out the channel. Yeah, check out the YouTube. Thank you for tuning, everyone. Hopefully you have a good one. I'll see you next time.